Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes, and I wanted to talk to you guys about a lot of different stuff. I've purposely been not getting on here for a big portion of the reasoning being that I'm just beat down. Spent a lot of time. Seems like, I'll make progress in one area and then freaking every time I turn around it's like a punch in the gut, and sometimes frankly it's like a punch in the nuts. Seems to have been my life lately. I'm not complaining by any means, because I by nature am a fighter. It's not the idea of like I don't like to fight but I'm not afraid to bleed kind of deal. It's just like, it's more the mentality of like, fight or flight. We all encounter certain circumstances and situations where like either fight or flight is enacted upon you. And I more typically have the propensity to fight than I do to flee. So there's that. But anyways, we've just been dealing with a whole lot. And I don't utilize any of that as an excuse, because I personally hate excuses. It's just, I guess I just haven't been able to do YouTube. I just can't be bringing myself to do it and executing on within bandwidth that I don't necessarily have, I suppose. It's nobody's fault. It's just like it's freaking life happens, right? And it's really the mentality. It's not even a mentality. It's a reality that is intrinsic in its own nature, that like, Scripture puts it this way: the sun rises on the just and the unjust. It's just life freaking happens, man. You have to be able to look and seek out blessings even when you're in the midst of what seems to be turmoil and hell and testing and trials and tribulation. We know James, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, knowing that you would be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. It's the book of James, chapter 1. So yeah, it's just like, I know so much scripture. I know it. I even know it. Two different contexts there, right? I know it in my head, but I also know it in my heart. It doesn't take away reality. It doesn't take away the fact that life happens, It doesn't take away the reality that we all live on a daily basis. Yes, I still need to count it all joy, even when it's frickin' hard. Yes, I still know that the Father's working. And on many levels, my wife and I, we talk about it all the time. How you take a look at the folks when they came out of Egypt. The Father brought his people out of Egypt with a strong and mighty hand, the way Scripture puts it. Yeah, he brought them out. It did great and wonderful and miraculous things, and we all want to be super quick and be like, oh, I would never, I can't believe the Hebrew people would do that. Why would you bring us out of a land flowing with milk and honey to bring us into this wilderness where there's no freaking food or water to eat? We were in a land of plenty. Yeah, we were slaves, but we were in a land of plenty. We lived in abundance. But we do that here. And we call ourselves on it, because I had a job. I had a really good job. I had a really good job. And I had a house that I worked my ass off for, to put my wife and my kids in. I mean, I fucking worked my ass off for it, dude. I'm sorry for the language. If you don't like it, then go somewhere else. But it's the truth. And I don't say that to say like I long for what I had. It's just the reality, knowing what I had and realizing that I walked away from everything for us to live in this setting. That's not my RV, by the way. But to live in this setting. To have all three of my kids, in an RV. It's my wife, my kids, and my dog. Living here, man, and it weighs on you because we've been living this for 3 years, and it seems like every freaking step we take, it's like 15 steps backwards. And we don't stop. We keep pushing. We keep plugging away. We keep doing everything that we know we possibly can to live our lives without complaint. I have all these grandiose ideas, things that I want to do, things that I want to execute on. One of them being, read the Bible in a year. And I'll finish it. I absolutely will, just so that it's on here, just so that it's on YouTube. You'll have the opportunity to read and progress through the scriptures in a year. Have that as a resource. If you just listen to it and follow it on a daily basis, I'll execute and complete that. I will. I absolutely will. I just freaking... something within me, I haven't been able to bring myself to execute on these things because I'm focused on so many other things in life. Nope. See, it's true that the sun truly does rise on the just, just as much as it does the unjust. There are some, frankly, really shitty people who are straight up pieces of shit that should not be worthy of life, living really good lives. And then there are really good people who are on the regular, being exposed to atrocities, or don't have opportunities, or so on and so forth, that other people do. It's not to say that you can't push and you can't grind and you can't you can't work your ass off and see the fruition of your labor. But sometimes it seems like, at least for me lately, it's been I work and push and work and do everything I can. And this is just for me, but it's like I'm doing what I know I need to do, and I'm not a man to complain. But it's really freaking hard. I mean, it's hard not to get down, because I am. It's hard to feel like you're not alone. I don't know. It's hard to not feel that way. Even though you know it up here. Even though, I know that I'm not. In certain ways, it's just me and my wife and my kids. That's it. Keep pushing and plugging away, doing everything that we possibly can. Trying new ideas. We're trying a new idea right now. I mentioned on Patreon, which I haven't been doing anything with. And that's my fault. Completely my fault. I own that. I just can't bring myself to, and I don't know why. My focus is everywhere else. But you take a look at economics, right? $100,000. If you had a salary of $100,000 in 2019, the economic rate and the rise of inflation and all the bullshit that's gone on, today, if you'd have never seen a raise, nothing, that same $100,000 that you would have made in 2019 is the equivalent to approximately $82,000 today. So I see the economic demise, and I hear people like, oh, well, you should just do this and you should do that, and I think that you need to have your kids in a house and blah 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 and this and that. You think I don't know that? You think I don't desire that? You think I don't want to provide the absolute best for my children? Within the same very breath, all of that I gave up to follow after what I know the Father has done to bring me out in here into, I guess, is my wilderness. And I see the depravity of this world and the economic demise that we're going through. I mean, it is absolutely in every possible way worse than the Great Depression in the 1930s. Bar none. There's no comparison. Absolutely no comparison. Sure, it was terrible back then. The only thing that makes it better in any way, in any form, I suppose, is that people are desensitized by this thing right here. This frickin' thing. People are spending their lives scrolling. It's bullshit. But I suppose in a one manner or another it makes it to where people can be, sheltered in their own minds, where they can just self-soothe by scrolling. There's a lot of reality to that. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. This is just shit that, I'm dealing with. Life is hard. Sure as heck is. Now, I don't expect anybody to do anything for me or anything like that. I never have. I never have. Anyways, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. And I would like for you to know about this endeavor that my wife and I are endeavoring to. We're making shirts. We have designs. But I would appreciate it if you would go to your Instagram and check out the Operator's Outpost. That is my new Instagram. I still have Tactically Torah. I am Tato. I am operating as Tactically Torah. But we are beginning to figure out this whole entrepreneurial ship and perpetuate a livelihood unto our own. And my wife, she's owning the media over there, and she's doing an awesome job. She's just put together the Instagram. It's called the Operator's Outpost. You just search Operator's Outpost. That's us. Go check us out and be on the lookout, because we're about to drop our website and some shirts and designs and such. Those will naturally drop first on Patreon. They will have first access. And if you all know that, I appreciate you. I love you guys. I do ask for your prayers, because life's hard, man. And we're trying to figure it out. Been really hard, especially lately. And I normally keep stuff to myself, so I figured I would be vulnerable. Shalom.